So I'm Doug Brockett. I'm CEO of Exablox. I have been CEO of Exablox for the last 5 years, I guess. So I've been here since the inception as well. And I know some of you guys from our previous, this is our third storage field day. So I know some of you from our previous two, but some folks around here are new as well. So I'll try to give you guys a little bit of background on who we are, and it'll be a good refresher for folks that might not recall, and also give you a little bit of an update. And for folks that are new, just stop me, ask some questions if you have any sort of questions about the overview of the company. But I think Sean and the technical team here has some pretty exciting stuff to bring you through as we go forward today. So Exablox was originally founded in 2011. I joined the company when it was just a couple of folks sitting in an office around literally 2 desks in a very, very small spot at Norwest Ventures Partners. And we had just taken in some seed funding. And we said, you know, there's got to be a way we can do something different here. The way the traditional file systems have historically been built has just accumulated way, way, way too much cruft in the stack over time. And we think we can do something different and better. And so the idea was that we were going to build a scale-out file system, but use an object store as the persistence methodology to make that very scalable and also to deliver some cool features along the way. So what we do is we have a file on object storage stack that's designed to handle general purpose storage loads. Now, it's pretty different than a lot of folks that came out of the object storage space and tried to build adapters for file systems. In our case, it was a first instance design point that we were going to go build a file system for general purpose storage loads, and that led to some design considerations that you'll see as we go. For example, we use a very, very fine-grained object store with object sizes that are, you know, under 64K, for example, on average about 18K, to let us get very, very high performance, low latency interactive workloads. Our software's another design choice we made was that we were going to be a user space stack. And by using a user space stack, we're able to develop our software very quickly, debug it very quickly, and leverage a lot of platform stuff that works really well in this in the user space. So our product is a Linux-based file system under Fuse, and it uses these very small, fine-grained content addressable storage. And then we've built a file system out of those objects, out of that object store. And what we were trying to do is we did this. I mean, it's fascinating technology, and it's a great science project. But the real thing that was interesting for us is how do you create completely new economics and feature sets around scale-out storage, right? So Exablox, you know, has been proud to be the guys that brought you scale-out, deduplicated storage, but lets you start with just a single inexpensive storage node and grow up from there, right? So we're able to both compete with the low end of the scale-up storage environments, all the way up into the very large petabyte scale deployments for large scale-out customers. We also did this informed around the idea that customers increasingly wanted to view storage as a consumable. They don't want to view storage as a big piece of CapEx that they drop in and then amortize over 5 years, because who can tell what your requirements are going to be in 5 years? Exablox wants you to be able to start with a very small, inexpensive deployment that handles your storage needs today and be able to add more storage over time. And so we've kept our entry costs extremely low and our pricing perfectly linear. Right? And that's our model about how we want to have customers be able to view their storage as a completely consumable OpEx item versus a large CapEx investment. So to make that happen, I had to bring together a pretty great team. Sridhar Subramaniam's our VP of Marketing. He's joined us from Virident, and prior to that, NetApp, and he's been around for a couple of years. I think you've all met him. Ramesh Balan's our VP of Engineering. He joined us within 6 months of my starting. He was formerly at Data Domain and Veritas, and I think he's being shy today because I don't see him. But he brought on board a couple of the folks that you'll see today. I think you're going to hear from Charles Harden and Sri Subramaniam. Yes, we do have 2 Sri Subramaniams working for the company. One's VP of Marketing. The other is one of the chief engineers that you'll be talking to today. They spell their names slightly differently. That's all the help you're going to get. But those guys joined us as well from places like Data Domain and Oracle, and have helped us build out this file system over the last 5 years. So really great team of guys who've been long-term storage experts. And we put a lot of IP into building this full software stack. So everything that you see today from us is going to be Exablox software. We don't use ZFS underneath. We don't use some other open source file system or open source storage stack. It's all Exablox code. So we're taking this solution, we're bringing it out after a $10 billion network storage market, according to Gartner. And I think you guys hear this market size all the time. There are much, much larger numbers that get bandied about for big object storage stuff, $35 billion, we'll say IDC, and others. But a lot of that is, frankly, stuff that people are going to buy components and build their own and land in Facebook and Google and other places that buy their own hardware and write their own software stacks. It's really about a $10 billion market for companies that are building network attached storage the way we are. And we ship two components. One is our OneBlocks, and that runs our Exablox file system and its appliance, and it's our software-defined storage. We ship on a commodity server, and it's just our software spun up running under Linux. And the second component that we provide is OneSystem, and that's our cloud-based management system that allows you to not just see what's happening with your storage, but actually manage and control all of your storage from the cloud through a cloud-based control plane. That means you can be anywhere in the world and can control your storage back in your data center, a third-party data center, or across the world from your mobile phone, or your laptop, or whatever else you have that can run a web browser. So to pursue this vision, Exablox has raised over $52 million in funding from people like Norwest Ventures, US Venture Partners, DCM, Toshiba, Dell, and others. So we've put together quite a consortium of blue chip backers behind the technology. And I think for those guys, it's really about believing that the storage market's ripe for reinvention. It's ripe for disruption. People aren't going to be buying from their traditional vendors anymore. They want to go and move into a much more efficient world in which they really see the storage as a consumable rather than as a big piece of CapEx. So with this approach, Exablox has been able to get out into the market. I'm delighted to say that we're now up over 330 customers, which I think is a just ripping fast start for a company that just got its product to the market about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And we continue to attract new customers at a very, very fast clip. And those customers, won't go through them today because we're webcasting, but when we get into a private session, we've got some very nice blue chip brands signing up behind Exablox storage right now. And so I think we could be more happy about it. So that's my quick opening for you guys. I think you should look at what Sean and the team are going to talk to you about today, and think about, if we've been able to attract this set of customers so far, what's going to happen with some of the new technologies that we're rolling out. And please appreciate why the software stack that we built is so very different from everything that's come before, and why customers feel like it's compelling and where it could take us in the future. So.